Welcome to our new series. In this series, we will be seeing complete project from creating database, writing APIs, and consuming all those API in the Angular project. Okay. So consider a basic project name, what we can say property booking portal. Okay. So here we will have different number of properties, or let's say scheme. In that we will have different flats with various types of flats like 1 BHK, 2 BHK, or simply floor also. Okay, so we will create all those different types of tables for them. Then we will write APIs for them. And same those API we will consume in the Angular project. Okay, so for database we will be using SQL. For front end we will be using Angular 12, HTML5, and the CSS3. And for .NET side, on the backend side, we are going to use ASP.NET Core Web API. Okay, so I have installed .NET Core, Visual Studio 2020, then Visual Studio Code for the Angular, and SQL Management Studio for the SQL database. Okay, okay. So consider this is a normal form they have for the booking. Okay, so basic details they take like first name, customer information, then nominee detail. Okay, then the customer is salaried or self-employed or professional or business, student or a housewife also. Then what flat number they are interested in. Is it a 2 BHK, 3 BHK, or the simply floor? Then apartment scheme name. What the price they have offered to them. How customer came to know about this property. So these are again three options we have. Then financial details like first token amount what customer has paid, future payment mode like how they are going to pay it, extra GST or SDST, whatever details they want. Then maintenance, if any charges are we are going to offer for maintenance. Then commitment, what are the commitment we are going to do from our side to the customer. Okay, then this signature doesn't require in our case, and the acknowledgement like if they have made any online payment. So these are the details of the payment we have received. So for this form we have to create a database first. Okay, so let's say we will design it in online tool. So first table will be my customer table. Okay, that will be again my master. Here all the fields will be there. Okay, after that second table will be, since these options you can see application, we don't need table for this because these are the static one. It is not going to change over the time of period, so we can keep it as a static. Okay, then apartment scheme. Consider a property dealer. He can have multiple scheme going on or multiple apartments going on. Okay, so he need a master for that to hold all the apartments or the project he is having, right? So we will need a table for that, scheme master. Okay, so this is our second table. After that, 1 BHK, 2 BHK or floor, this is also going to be static. We don't need any extra database table because all these three or four options will be there. That are those. Offer price, then self walk, channel partner, or reference. It is again, they need only three options here, so we can keep it as a static only. Okay, so and for payment detail acknowledgement. Okay, so whenever like this is just an inquiry form, not sure like everyone inquire about the property does the booking also. So for this table acknowledgement we can keep it as a separate table because only some of the customers are going to make the payment. So rather than having all the columns in custom inquiry, okay, we missed the one table. So customer table will have all this information in their table. So to hold all information in particular of this inquiry, we will need one table, that is inquiry table. Inquiry master, let's name it as. Okay, so customer, then scheme master and inquiry master. So in inquiry master we will have customer ID which is linked to this customer table. Then in inquiry master we will have scheme ID which is again linked to the scheme master. So three tables we have. So last table to store or acknowledgement, payment acknowledgement, we can create a table as payment. Okay, So these are the four table we are going to need. Again, payment master will have an inquiry foreign key of inquiry master, because on this inquiry or on this confirm booking we are going to have payment. Okay, so let's design database for this. This is my local database I already opened. Let's create a table. So I'm not going to create using SQL scripts, so we can directly use the navigation provided by SQL Management Studio. Okay, so first we will create customer table. Let's say cust id is there, data type it will be int, it is not nullable, and its identification means identity will be true, means yes, by default one id will be incremented. Then what are the fields we have? Let's say first name. So within the first name, complete name will be there, age, address, and PAN card. Full name, it will be varchar. Let me design all things. Okay, so these are the fields we are going to need. So from top to bottom, let's say full name, address, and everything. So like say like for address we are going to need multiple max length, so we have used varchar 3000 rather than 5050 I have taken. Again, same data is going to be for the nominee detail, so we have used nominee only in front of their column name. Then property number like flat number or scheme number. Then scheme id, we are going to create a table of scheme master, that id will be here. Then property type 1 bhk or 2 bhk, offered price, that will be again in the number, so we can use float. Then in .NET we will be taking double. Then reference, token amount, gst amount, meter charges, registration charges, maintenance, and any commitment. Okay, so let's save this. This is inquiry master. Okay, so this is our first table. Let's create table. Two, that is customer. Scheme id, it will be int. Scheme name, and it will be varchar. Its short name, and address, and total property count. Let's say total flat we have in this scheme. Again, it will be int. Okay, let's save this. Scheme master, this is done. I forgot one thing. This is going to be primary key, so we need identification as yes. Make it as a primary key. Same thing we have missed for this also. Okay, saving is not permanent. We'll do it later. Okay, so again, next table what we have discussed is customer table we will create later, then the payment table. Payment id, again it will be top type int. Let's say booking id, that will be again coming from the inquiry. And the fields we are going to need are amount, details, and bank. So name we don't need, it will come from the inquiry. Amount we are going to need, bank we are going to need. Then check our RTS number. Date. For date, we can take the date time and the extra details. Instead of 50, we can make it as 1000. This is primary key and it is going to be identity. Payment master. Okay. We did miss one thing, like we have decided like customer table will be different, so we don't need these properties here. So let's create a different table for holding all customer detail. Okay, so just to refresh everything, let me add identity specification is yes. Okay, so this is a customer table which is having all the details of the customer only. Then second table is scheme master, like what are the schemes or the permit we have. Again, it will hold all the information of my scheme, like scheme name, short name, address, and total property I have. Scheme ID is my primary key. Okay, the next table is our main important table, that is inquiry table. Okay, so in inquiry table we will have inquiry ID, property name, and all inquiry detail plus customer ID. It will be type which will be coming from our customer table. Okay, let me check like if identity is there. No. Okay, so these are the four different tables we have along with the payment. Okay, so our database is completed now. Now let's jump to the Angular section. Let me select a folder location. Okay, so this is the folder I have created. Let's create new project with ng new, and project name will be booking. Okay, so once I have run this command, it will ask like we need routing file or not, and certain things. So it's okay, so it is asking yes or no. We just have to press yes. Then which CSS thing we need. So I will go with the default CSS. So now it has created the basic project. Now it is installing the node module. Okay, what are the packages we are going to need? So the basic entries we got in the package.json. So it will install all those packages along with its dependencies also. Okay, so once it is installed, we will have a node module folder over here. So let's wait for that. Okay, so once this process complete, you can see node module folder has been added here with all the dependencies what package.json has. Okay, so let's see. Okay, after this, let's create our API project. So this is the Visual Studio 2019 setup I have done. We have to, when we open it, we get this window, and that we have to create new project. You have to search for the API. So you see ASP.NET Core Web API template we get. You have to click on it, click on the next. Let's select the folder.